Hey guys, Frank here, your virtual general aviation aviator, and I am in the Beaver. Yay, the immortal Beaver. And this time I've got the floats on it. So, as you can see, I am up in Canada. I believe it is snowing. Um, or let me turn on my lights and check to see if it's snowing. Or whether or not I've got any precipitation. So I don't see anything falling out there, so I think I'm good. Okay, look like I got a low cloud base to contend with. I've got a 115 nautical mile flight to, what is this place called? Something Pass, Pass, Pass Airport, PAS. Um, and look like there's a corridor between the airport that I'm at, which is Norway House Airport, and what part of the Canadian, let's see, what part of Canada is this? Um, let's see if I can't pull this guy over and let you see what I'm contending with. So I am here at Norway, and looks like look like we got a due west flight, which means that I'm probably going to have a headwind. I haven't gotten any weather information yet, so I guess it would be smart to go ahead and get some weather information. And looks like it is getting dark. I'm gonna see if I can't wind it, play God here, and see if I can't wind the time back a little bit. Yeah. So so and and shame on it all. I don't even know what time I wound it back to. Let's see. There's a clock here, so I got quarter after 4. Um, and let's get this guy started. I, I had it started a few minutes ago, and I don't know if I still got any heat in the engine. Let me turn my master on, which I got it on, and see if I got any. Okay, so my cylinder head temperature. Okay, so my operating temperature did not come up, and I'm just toggling. My cylinder head temperature is still down, so I guess I'm going to need to assume that I am completely cold and dark. Um, so with that said, let me go ahead and pressurize my line again. And one more pump here. Yeah, I'm looking good there. And I got it on the rear tank already. Say for 115 nautical miles at probably 100. It's going to take me a whole hour to get there. And I've got um, I got fuel in all my tanks. I got a full tank on my mid tank, so I should have enough fuel to get there. Um, my weight and balance shows that I've got. Um, I think I am supposed to have 4 passengers on this thing, so I am gonna just go ahead and click in here and set whatever weights the sim put in. So that gives me 4 passengers. And where's my operating envelope? Let me Yeah, I'm just on the edge of my operating envelope. So I actually am going to take out a little gas out of this center tank and add a little bit to the rear tank because I want to make sure that I stay inside that operating envelope. Okay, and I'm looking good. All right. The panel is a custom panel. It's one that I designed. Basically, I replaced this 530 with the 430 and added the GTN Garmin GTN 750. When I say 430, I'm talking about the Garmin 430. Um, anyway, I got my master on, so I'm using up my battery. So let me go ahead and see if I can't get started here. And in real life, I wouldn't have this guy here to let me know whether I'm primed or not, but I do like the animation and I wanted to show you that. So right now, I've got my mixture fully lean, so it's not going to crank. I just want to circulate um, the gas, and I noticed that in real life, I do see them pump the throttle a few times. I actually don't know what, if anything, that does, but I did pump mine. Okay, so I'm just going to crank it for a second, and it didn't crank. All right, and it still didn't crank. What could be the problem? I got my master on. All right, let me check my voltages. Okay, so field, these are my fields on the head. Okay, my voltages over here, and I have to click this to find out what my yeah, so I got a dead battery. That sucks. I got passengers that are ready to go and a dead battery. All right, so fortunately, I'm not in the back country, and let me call them guys and get them to bring out a GPU. So let's get a GPU out and see window reflections. Um, don't look like I've got a GPU option for the Beaver. Okay. Um, let's see. And I am on the float plane, um, which is why you see this guy here. Um, this, yeah, okay. And this guy here, this little red handle here. Um, but I'm trying to figure out what I can do to get me a good start without having to. I've got some stuff loaded up in the background, like A cars, and I'm already recording a flight for it. So I pretty much really need to start up without restarting the sim, and I need a new battery, and there's no way to get a new battery in it. Doesn't have a clutch that I can have somebody push me and pop. Can't pop the clutch. So I have no choice but to do this, guys. I hate to, but you have to do it. Right? All right. So we're running. Um, and now I do have some battery. some power on my battery here. And let's see, I've, let's see, push for votes. So I've got 28 votes, and the battery is just barely charging. Um, ah, didn't mean to do that. That's all right. Let's see if we can get it to start back up. There we go. All right, so because I really didn't mean to pull that mixture down. What I was actually trying to do was pull this, was feather it. All right. Okay, so anyway, all right. So we do have our beacon light on, and let's go ahead and turn a landing light on for taxi, and it's actually dark enough, I think, to justify nav lights. All right. So with that done, let's go ahead and get our flight plan built, which is real simple. It's a direct flight. Charlie, Quebec. I want to say I've forgotten what it is, so let me go back and see what the Charlie Yankee Quebec Delta. Okay. Charlie Yankee Quebec Delta, the pass. Okay, 115 nautical miles. That's what we anticipated. And I can get rid of my animation, and I can pop my GPS back in. But before I do, let's just go here and get some information. Waypoint and frequency for AWAS, Automatic Weather Observation System. And let's put that on COM2. That's just where I like to have it. It's already in there. And actually, I don't have a COM2. Okay. And multicom is this guy, and I'm not hearing weather. All right. So my engine should be warm enough now. Actually, I'm looking at my cylinder head temp, so I can actually go ahead and get about 800 on the RPMs. Um, Make sure that I get my oil circulating. Um, my oil temp is what I was just looking at. Let me get down. Hopefully you can see it a little better. And so as long as I'm at least as long as my cylinder heads are at least 100 degrees Celsius, I'm good to go. My operating temp is still needs to come up a little bit, and my oil pressure is positive. So as soon as I get my operating temperature up, then we can actually get ready to go. Um, Now I'm on floats, and believe it or not, I don't intend to land on water. That sucks, but I'm not so sure. Let me just look around, guys. And this this guy right here I'm not sure what it does. Okay, that's part of my audio system. I usually mute my sound by clicking this guy, and apparently it does the same thing because right now I am simulated to have my headphones on. Okay, so my operating temperature is slowly coming up. I do have my landing lights on. Let's pop out and see what we look like. And good. Oh man, look at the snow. So I do have snow now. Thought I looked for snow earlier and it wasn't snowing. So it did start to snow. It has started snowing since I've been here. Um, and let's say that it's a really dry snow, so it'll blow off anything that sticks, so I don't have to worry about canceling the flight because of snow. It's cold enough. Let's see what our weather is in this neck of the woods. Okay, so in this neck of the woods, our barometer is 29.71. Winds are 250 at 3. Um, and 210, it's variable 250 with at 3, 210 degrees to 220, 320. So looks like the winds just kind of all over the place, light snow. Our cruising altitude is 2,500 feet, overcast at 3,000, so we should stay 500 feet below the clouds. And visibility is 14 nautical miles, so we are in our VFR envelope. The temperature outside is a balmy, hot -12 degrees Celsius. Oh man, break out in the sweat out there. Okay, on our rear tank, and let's see where our operating temperature is at. And it's coming up slowly but surely. So that's what we're really waiting on. All right, so let's go ahead and put our flaps in to take off, and pop out here and look. Actually, I think we got plenty of runway, so I'm not gonna go all the way to takeoff. This is a tail dragger. No, this is the amphib, so I don't have to worry about um, the spinning all over the place. Okay. Um, Now, what's next? I do have to kind of look and try to get this picture of my height from the runway in my mind, because since I got these floats on, I'm up higher, and when I land, I don't want to slam into the runway. All right, so I'm gonna get out of the aircraft and see if I can't take a. Oh man, it's really coming down now. See if I can't take a look at the windsock to figure out where my winds are, because I can't get AWAS, and I see that the winds, well, we did get it from the other system. And I'm just looking at the windsock, so you see that the winds are variable at 3 knots, basically what we got. So let's see if we can spin around here. Pardon me, I'm not used to to this tube to look around that I'm trying to look around with. There we go. Okay, so this is the runway. So this is the end that we want to taxi to. Okay. Oh man. When I restarted with the aircraft, when I restarted with the aircraft, when I restarted with the aircraft running because my battery was too weak to do a start and I don't have a GPU, then I wound up restarting back on the center of the runway because I had actually pulled off onto the apron. All right, so let's unload up brakes and go ahead and taxi to the end. And do a brake check. And apparently it is really icy because on that brake check, I seem to have very little braking ability. And I got the brakes fully deflected right now, but my wheels are still rolling. Let me try with the handbrakes. All right, so brakes, and let's see what happens when I pull these out. Yeah, so you see it's so slippery that I'm sliding on the runway. Yeah, didn't know that was didn't know that was modeled that well because normally I don't fly in weather like this. So I need to keep that in mind. Yeah, Mortar Beaver. Okay, and let me jump back into to this guy here, and let's see. Go ahead and change frequencies. Make that radio call. There we go. And this is which airport was this? Try to get the iPad started with the ForeFlight app. That might help. And look like my ForeFlight has been updated. Parachute jump areas. Yeah, well, I'll look at that later. Okay. Now, ForeFlight technically does not. My ForeFlight subscription technically does not cover Canada. So I won't get very good information, but we'll see what I can get. Norway. Oh, wow. That's what I get for not looking. And with throttle in and not paying attention, runway incursion. Okay. So I think I'm close enough to the end of the runway. Norway House, Beaver 292, Echo Whiskey is taking the runway for, come on guy, turn around. Stand by. Okay, yeah. This is squirrely. This is kind of hairy here. Shoot, I almost need skis on this guy. All right. So let's Let's just hold them brakes for a second. Do a mag check. And even with the brakes held, I'm sliding. Quick mag check. So maybe I should feather. All right, let me just check my suction. Suction look good. And that's way down here, in case you're wondering, right there above the watermark, the virtual GAA watermark. Anyway, we're gonna take off right here. Okay. And look like we're on 4. Like I don't even know the runway numbers, but look like we're taking off on 6. Yeah, let's call it 6 or maybe 5. Let's call it 6. 5. Yeah, I think it's 5. Norway House traffic. Beaver 292 Echo Whiskey taking off runway 5, departing to the west. Norway House. Okay. Landing lights, strobe lights, taxi lights are off, nap lights are on. Check this guy and turn it on altitude reporting. And go 33 and a half on the manifold pressure. Come off them brakes. Rotate. And we are up. Oh, the winds don't like, the winds are not happy with me. And the Beaver does not like winds. So I'm working with it, trying to get me some altitude. Okay, so make that turn to the west here. And I actually do have a lot of weight on this guy right now. Oh yeah. You know, I didn't look at the POH to see what my rotate speed is with floats. But I do have these floats on. And they are probably accounting for a lot of drag. Probably a lot more than I would have anticipated. 2971, I did not. Got a low here, but I should have put that in before taking off. You know, one thing about a flight simulator is you can really do some stupid things that you can't do in real life. Okay, so I got just a tad of flaps in, so I pump those on up. back on up to my cruising speed. All right, got a nice speed thing going here now. I wanted to cruise at 25, but look like the skies, the cloud bases are a little bit lower than I thought. So right now I'm gonna just hang out at 1500. There's my 1500. All right. So, one thing I do have in this aircraft is an autopilot. And what good is having one if you're not going to use it, especially in weather like this? Now, I need to be dodging this cloud here. So, 'cause I need to stay, technically I should be trying to stay at least 500 feet below it. Okay, so 1500 rolled in on my altitude hole. Let's go to our map. And now I got 4 souls, well 5 souls on board in a crazy snowstorm flying over a big lake in a single engine aircraft. But I do have floats, so that's some constellation. If I lose my engine, then at least I can put it down in the water and we can stay dry. So that is some constellation. All right, now I'm wondering, okay, so the weather looks a little bit cleaner clearer now. Maybe now I can go ahead and climb up to 15, to 25, but right now, let's see, let's set a head bug. It's this one. And 270 is what I want. Okay, so we'll engage our autopilot, engage our altitude hole for 1500. Tell it to climb at 200 feet a minute. Because we only got a couple hundred feet, well 300 feet before we're at cruising altitude, so I can just do a nice gentle slow climb. Check the fuel gauge. I'm on that rear tank. But you know what? Because of the CG, I should have started since I got floats, I really should have started on this front tank. Actually, I am on the front tank. Ah, good. That was a lucky mistake because I thought that I was on the rear tank. All right, so let me check my front fuel level, and let's see, I got about 13 gallons. All right, landing light come off. Nav and strobes can stay on. And let's go ahead and climb up to 25. And we'll climb out at 700 feet a minute. Okay, so I got my manifold pressure as high as I want it to go. And I'm gonna lower that just a touch, 600 feet. And see what we look like. All right. We are looking good, guys. And on that takeoff, I guess I didn't mention it, but I was scanning. I did include this AOA indicator in my scan since I rotated at my normal 55 to 60, but with the extra weight from the floats, um, did look like I was running the risk of stalling. So yeah. In fact, I'm just about at altitude. So let's go ahead and change to nav and get on our magenta line. And I should have did this a little earlier, but I know from experience that my display is a little bit brighter, so I keep meaning to turn on the gauge lights, the instrument lights, just for your benefit. Okay, so my airspeed is 125, roughly 125 to 130 miles per hour, which is showing up at, now on this inside dialer are knots, and this outside, the bigger numbers are miles per hour. So I'm cruising at about 110 to 100 between 110 to 115 knots, or 125 to 130 miles per hour. So I guess we can sit back, enjoy the flight, and I'll check back in when it's time to land. Okay, so I am about 15 minutes out. ETA is 15 minutes. It's getting dark. And it's snowing. Also, I'm concerned about whether or not I am going to have enough fuel to make it. And truthfully, I am not. Okay, so I am not going to get my passengers to their destination. So we are going to have to put down in the water and call for a rescue. That sucks, but it is what it is. Okay, let's see. Yep. I've got about a gallon. I'm in fumes on my rear tank. And I need water. Okay, so let's see. So I am right here. And I need water. Now I got water straight ahead. And that lake should be large enough for me to land on. Now, a night landing in water is one of the things that is definitely not recommended. I do see some lights ahead, but I'm fairly positive I won't make it. So I am going to put myself down in this lake along with my passengers. So let me go ahead and brief them. Hey guys, with the headwind that we had, there's no way that we can make it with the fuel that we had on board. We were at the envelope and I took on as much fuel as I could, and it's just my fault. It's, as pilot in command, I should have did a much better job on my weight and fuel calculation. So we just lost the engine, which is entirely expected. So I see the lake out front. Let's get our landing lights on. And let's get this guy feathered. Let's see if we can crank it to feather it. Alright. It should be feathered, and crank it so I can get some visibility there. And let's try for this lake here. We are basically a big heavy glider at this point. Landing lights are on. I don't think we're even gonna make the lake. This sucks. Nope, we're not gonna make the lake. All right, gear down. Okay. Ah, no old bold pilots. And I wasn't even trying to be bold. Um, I wouldn't have survived that. Neither would my passengers. And post mortem, I looked at the lake and I thought about ditching earlier. I thought about ditching in here somewhere, but I was like, well, with the fuel that I have on board, I may, if even if I can't make my destination, I should be able to make that lake. Now this is my destination here, and this is where I went down, and I was fairly certain that if I didn't have enough fuel, that I would at least be able to make one of these lakes. Um, I rolled the dice and I lost. It should have been. I should have. Um, I should have did a proper weight and balance calculation. I should have. Well, with four passengers, um, there was just no way I could take on more fuel, and 100 nautical miles. Be honest with you, did not sound like that far, but in the Canadian wilderness and a snowstorm with winds, with a headwind, it just wasn't going to happen. Now, if I'd have been going east, I'm sure that I would have got there okay. So even if you know, uh, well, with the trees, there was just nowhere to land, and I never did get the landing gear down. So I tried to. Well, it was just a bad situation, and as PIC, I take full responsibility. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that disaster unfold. And until next time, remember, a good pilot is always learning. Trust me.